let me say this, man. Um, I'm not against people doing what they got to do to earn, get needed resources, um, to build their empire, transition into something legitimate, um, that can stabilize their family, um, and think in a progressive manner, right? So I'm doing what I got to do, but it's actually to create something where I can stabilize myself legitimately, and I can even pass down wealth. I could put my family in a position where we can pass down wealth and replicate that, replicate that, replicate that. Life is about aggression, man. Um, the people that have dominated have always been aggressive. They, for the most part, they didn't even ask, they took, right? But because of Christianity, we're told that we're supposed to be very humble, even though Jesus was a gangster. You don't tell me that this man Jesus came and told everybody he is the son of God and you got to go through him to get to God. And he went into the church and they were selling things and he started destroying things. He came and brought a new ideology and told people how to be, what to eat, what not to eat. You're not going to tell me Jesus did all of that without aggression. Why you think they wanted to kill him so bad? Because they were so mad that this man came and he was dictating shit. That's why, you know? So it takes aggression to dominate, right? And black men coming from impoverished neighborhood, third world countries, coming from the ends, the favelas, the hoods, the streets. When the world is set up for you to operate at the bottom, you got to utilize the bottom to get to the top. You can't just jump to the top. You got to scrape what you can from the bottom and get to the top. And that's why niggas don't start off legitimately. And so for me, I can't judge niggas doing what they got to do. You know what I'm saying? To be able to play to the standard of civilization, which is considered legitimate, right? These are all just human concepts, because why is weed or selling coke illegal? It don't have to be, but because somebody determines that it's illegal just to have control, we're gonna say that it's illegal and it's bad to sell it, right? But whenever they who have power determine to legalize it, they would sell us the same thing that they was telling us it was bad for us. So that's why they made it illegal. So that means what is good, what is evil. People just determine it, and then you sit there and play by the rules that's created for you. Cool. You know what I'm saying? Whereas today, what is legal tomorrow can become illegal, and what is illegal today can become legal tomorrow. So think about it. It's all human design. It's not God that came and said anything. It's human beings who design things that benefits the structure they want to build for the world and how they envision domination. So you got to do what you got to do. But as black people, we coming from the bottom, the ones that are, should not make it easy to be dominated when the setup is already to dominate us. We shouldn't make it easy to be dominated. The people who are committing the biggest crimes are wearing suits and they have credentials. You know what I mean? So they're not being targeted because they're not presenting themselves in a way where illegality is written on their forehead, right? But on the other side of the tracks, black people are running around saying they gang members. and saying they criminals and saying they street and defining themselves as people who do illegal things. Once you make yourself a target like that, is there a surprise why you were targeted? Is there a surprise why it's easier to put you in prison than another person who is not making it easy for the trap? You know? The moment you say you're a gang member, you claiming your gang, which these people have been investigated as criminals. Once you tap into that world and expose yourself as such, how do you want to be treated when you say you're a gang member? I want to know, how do you want to be treated? When you say you're a gang member, how do you want to be perceived? How you say you're a gang member and say the police is harassing us? How? How do you say white supremacy, oppression, when you you present yourself as a gang member? You know? And I do think black people, it's time. It has to be the end times of gang culture dominating black culture. It has to be the end times of that, you know? Like, the gangs gotta end. It's not about the people who are gangs, anything bad coming to them, but the branding has to end. Like, niggas should not claim gangs. That's what I'm saying. Don't claim brands, claim groups, have assembly, because that's what black people are. We from Africa, and in Africa, it's always assembly, right? Because white people, they come from the coldness, so they sit in rooms by themselves and they think about dominating the world. We come from hotness, so we always was outside in groups. White people couldn't be outside in groups because of the weather. We was outside in groups because of the weather. You get it? So we're always together. But that's assembly. It's not gangs. They have called it gangs, and gangs has a negative terminology, and it makes it easy to put gangs in prison, because the definition is, if you're a gang, you're committing organized crimes, right? So once we embody that, it makes it easy, because the spell that's already written on the paper is saying this is what gangs would have to endure. This punishment, they will be in prison, we will do this to them, RICO, this, da, da, da. So once you say that you're a gang member, you are now consenting and submitting yourself to the spell. And so when you get punished as a gang member, you giving your consent, you know? Whereas if niggas do rebrand and don't consider themselves gangs, but LLCs, groups, nonprofits, you know what I'm saying? If niggas change how we brand ourselves, and like I said, it don't matter what you're doing, right? If what you're doing is to become progressive, that's cool. But whatever that you're doing, if you present yourself in a more positive way, it's more chances that you can get away with things, right? But if you like label yourself and say you're a criminal, come on, how do you want to be treated? You know what I'm saying? How do you want to be treated? You know? So for me, this is my theory. End of gangs. End of gangs. End gangs, man. You know? Stop calling yourself gangs, those names, criminal names, titles. Stop it. You can do what y'all do, whatever y'all need to do, but present it differently. That's what I'm saying, man. I want to hear y'all's thoughts.